My passenger side door panel soft touch material lifted and needed to be repaired. And no, it wasn't a manufacturer defect. It was caused by a window tinting shop. I'll explain more on that later. Anyway, I decided to remove the panel and take it to an upholstery shop and have them reattach the soft touch vinyl. So the first step was to remove the cover in the door handle recess. And then I used my fingernail to remove this little cover. So that exposes two screws that are visible here, and I removed those screws with a Torx T20 tool. The next step was to remove the plastic cover behind the door handle latch. There is one screw behind that cover, and I used a T20 Torx bit to remove it. The next step was to remove the trim piece that covers the side mirror fasteners. I can't say exactly how I removed it, but there's one spring clip that holds it to the door, and I just gently worked with it, rocked it back and forth, maybe pried it with something like a screwdriver or something in there until I was able to remove it. It was tricky, to say the least. Next, I used the trim panel tools to pry up the door panel. I put the plastic piece under the metal pry bar to save my paint. In other words, I didn't want to mar my paint. So I pried the door panel to get the first plastic fastener to release. Then I continued from that point around the perimeter of the panel and pulled with my fingers to get all the plastic fasteners released. I pried with tools at point A. It might have been better had I pried at point B, and point B is 7 inches from the top of the panel, just for reference purposes. The door panel can be hinged outward slightly at the bottom of the door. Then I delicately lifted the door panel up with the window down until it separated from the door. Then I had to release the wire harness B there in green and disconnect the door latch cable, green in the diagram, from the door latch handle. The door latch cable can be seen here. And again in a close-up. It's held captive in a plastic bracket. So I pinched the plastic tabs where the red arrows are pointing to gently with needle nose pliers. Then I was able to lift the cable upward until the metal cable, the yellow circle, is free of the slot in the plastic bracket. The slot in the plastic bracket is seen here in the yellow circle. The next step is to remove the L-shaped attachment pin from the yellow plastic locking collar. So I pushed down on the tab gently, pointed to by the orange arrow, and I was able to rotate the L-shaped attachment pin 180 degrees. Then I was able to slide the attachment pin down and free of the yellow plastic locking collar. To release the electrical connector, I pushed down on the tab seen in the picture and wiggled the connector out of the socket. A medium-sized blade screwdriver would have helped here to depress the tab, because at this point, when I was removing that connector, I had to remove the connector with one hand and then hold the door panel in the other hand. So a screwdriver or something like that would have been helpful, because I could have used that to depress the tab instead of using a finger to depress the tab and then using two other fingers to wiggle the connector free. So here is the door panel removed. I supported the connector with a rubber band and a tie wrap to prevent me from slamming it in the door, because that connector hangs down really low. And this little diagram I made to myself to remind me to mention that the window will not go up or down with the connector disconnected. So once I got the panel removed, I wanted to put the window back up. I had to plug the connector back into the window switch before I could raise it. So I just connected it briefly to get the window back up. And seen here are the plastic fasteners that hold the panel to the door. I removed the fasteners in preparation to take the panel to the upholstery shop. I didn't want any of the little trinkets on the door that could get lost while it was being worked on in the upholstery shop. I used these pliers to remove the fasteners. It's fairly straightforward. I was just really gentle because they were made out of plastic. I didn't want to break them. And there's a little foam washer on the top, obviously to prevent vibration or rattles or whatever. So don't want to lose that or damage it. And seen here are 7 of the 10 fasteners sitting out on my coffee table. I removed the switch assembly by pushing gently on the 2 tabs in the red circles, and then I pushed the switch assembly out of the door panel. Then I removed the metal disc that held the door latch mechanism in place. And then the door latch was removed. So here's the door panel ready to go to the upholstery shop. So here's what it looked like before. And the reason I was thinking to use an upholstery shop, I was thinking of, oh, it'll be perfection. But the problem here was I was thinking perfection and the upholstery shop was thinking reality. So the door panel looked like this when I got it back. So there's it's easy to see. Well, maybe not in the photograph, but it's easy to see there was like a loose area there and a tight area. So it wasn't what I expected. Far from perfection, actually. And I discovered later why he didn't do a better job. So the way this door panel is constructed, there are plastic wells with air quotes that hold the soft touch piece backing plate to the door panel, to the plastic door panel. And there are 34 round plastic wells in air quotes. And there are 9 plastic blade welds, 5 of which are welded. It's not possible, in my opinion, to break down the door panel further due to these welds. Unwelding them would destroy the panel, I think. So that's why the upholstery shop didn't take this panel apart, because it would have just been, the panel would have either been destroyed or he would have probably had to charge me $250 for all the hours of labor he put into it. So anyway, he just glued the soft touch vinyl back in place and called it a day. So that's what happened there. I put the 10 plastic fasteners back into the door panel carefully with my little pliers. And there are also 2 pilot posts. I put the foam pads back onto those pilot posts. I took the pads off before I sent it to the upholstery shop. Then I reinstalled the latch mechanism. It was easy. And I reinstalled the window switch assembly. The tabbed end has to go in first. So here was the panel ready to be installed again. I reinstalled the L-shaped attachment pin of the door latch cable by reversing the steps done earlier to remove it. Then I reconnected the window switch connector. It clicks into place. To rejoin the panel to the door, I inserted the lip into the trough of the door. And I had to make sure the lock post was up or in the unlocked position to make it easier to get that little lock post into the hole in the door panel. The alignment pegs go into these alignment holes. The 10 plastic fasteners go into the receivers in the door. Then I replaced the 2 screws with the T20 Torx and I put the cover in place. Then I replaced the door latch handle screw, also a T20, and I put the cover back in place. And then I put the trim panel piece back in place. Note the spring clip and the alignment tab and the slots in the door. The finished product looks like this. So, what caused this to happen in the first place? Well, this passenger side window tinting was done in 2014 when I bought the car new, and on the passenger side and the passenger side only, it began to delaminate at the top edge of the window about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember the exact years. And anyway, I took it to the upholstery shop. It was repaired under warranty. They had to strip off the old tint on that passenger door and then apply new tint. Well, that was fine for a couple of years, and then it happened again. So again, it delaminated slightly, about 1/4 inch on the upper edge of the window glass, and again, it was repaired under warranty. They took the car in, removed the old tinting, and applied new tinting. So I later talked to the technician about it. I did some research on YouTube, and I found out several ways to remove tint. One is with steam, and another, well, I didn't see this one on YouTube, but another that the tech explained to me at the shop, that they use soapy water to remove the tint to get it to release. I was very diplomatic about it when I talked with him about it, and he explained that, yeah, that was most likely caused by the extensive use of soapy water to get the window tinting film to release when they had to repair it the second time. So he said in the future, if they have to do that, they'll put some tape over that that part of the door so that the soapy water cannot get down into and up under that soft touch material and cause the glue to soften and release over time. Anyway, after this passenger side window tinting was repaired the second time, shortly thereafter I began to have this soft touch vinyl lifting problem, and I didn't think to go back to the upholstery shop because I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know what had happened. So anyway, I just decided to do what I did here, which was to remove the panel, take it to an upholstery shop, and just have him fix it. So that's what happened. But anyway, that's my experience with that. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.